Welcome everyone to episode 81 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen and our guest today, returning guest, our friend Aidan, and we are going to be talking about Blink Twice, the directorial debut of Zoë Kravitz. But first, as always, we can talk about what we watched this week. Douglas, you're getting us started.
He's been anointed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this week I watched all four Universal Soldier movies that feature Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. Fun little series. Fun what do they call it? Quadrilogy.
Oh. They call it that, yeah.
And then I also watched Dungeons and Dragons from 2000, directed by Courtney Solomon. Famously starring. No, it's very bad. But this cast, it's Jeremy Irons plays the bad guy, and then it's Justin Whalen and Marlon Wayne play like the two kind of like silly sidekicks, and then Thora Birch from Ghost World is in it playing like Princess Amidala. It's very silly. I watched the new John Woo picture, The Killer. It's very
the new old good. John Woo picture.
Yeah, that movie came out long ago.
Starring it's a Peacock original. It's really good. It's really good. I was thinking about it. It's definitely a streaming movie. You know, it has like it's like 16:9 16:9 like aspect ratio. It's very like TV show. But it's also, I don't know, it's also like super well made. It's like, oh yeah, this is like something that is helmed by, you know.
You compare it to an episode of television?
No, it's like vibes. It's not like
Okay.
It is more, I don't know. It's really well made. It's so well made that it like kind of, it's frustrating that he doesn't get to make like real movies. But yeah, that's what I watched this week. It was a fun week. Lots of action movies.
Aidan, you want to go?
Sure. I watched a bunch of random shit this past week, so I'll just mention the highlights. I watched The Last Days of Disco. Saw a screening of that last weekend. Whit Stillman's movie from 1998 about like, I mean, you know, Last Days of Disco, early 80s. Yeah. It takes place like mostly in like one specific club. It's just like a group of acquaintances and all their sort of petty dramas.
I actually just put that movie on my watch list the other day.
It's really good. It's the best movie I've seen in a while, I think. And then I watched Nashville for the first time, which is pretty cool. It's a lot like funnier than I expected. I didn't realize it's just like a comedy. There's a lot of funny like songs, like original music and stuff. It's a fun movie. And I watched the 3D Coraline re-release, which I'd never seen in theaters before, so that was fun to see the 3D and everything. And I watched Moving, the Japanese movie from '93, directed by Shinji Somai.
Great pronunciation. That was something Doug can't do.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of that on this podcast.
Just nailed it first try. Owen, you want to go?
Yeah, so I also saw Coraline in theaters, the 3D re-release, which was cool. I saw it last year when they did the other re-release as well, which that movie rocks. And then I watched Blink Twice, which we'll talk about on this episode. And then me and Aidan watched the Ken Russell movie Gothic last night.
Right.
And that is all I have done this week.
Was Gothic good?
Yeah, it's about Mary Shelley. It's a very silly movie.
And it's all a true story.
Yeah, the entire thing. It's all real.
Nice. I didn't watch a lot either. I watched Singing in the Rain for the first time in like probably over a decade. Probably haven't seen it since I was a wee lad. Really like that movie. Kind of a perfect movie. Didn't realize that I liked it as much as I did because I was a child the last time I watched it. But yeah, kind of just like all time fave. I watched Rock and Roll High School, a movie I was not familiar with until a couple weeks ago. I thought it was just gonna be like a high school movie musical type of deal, because of the name, obviously. But it's like specifically about the Ramones, and they're like in the
Yeah.
movie and they sing like 10 songs. Like the whole back half of the movie is pretty much just them doing a concert, uh, which I like was not expecting. It like sets up like the whole like first 30 minutes of the movie. I'm like, oh, this is really like kind of like Dazed and Confused vibes, but also like some stuff here is just like so over the top silly that it's clearly not real life, and it's in like it's like operating in a really cool space. And then the Ramones show up, and then it's just like a movie about the Ramones, and like the high school plot just like doesn't really matter that much. It was like fun. It was a good movie. I don't know. I'm not like that familiar with the Ramones, and maybe if I knew more of their music, then I would enjoy it more. But I really was kind of digging like what they set up in the beginning, and then they go away from it pretty hard until the end of the movie. I watched A Separation, which I've been meaning to watch for a while. Asghar Farhadi movie, and I think Aidan's seen it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, just kind of the the great, like it's like one of those movies where I watched it and I was like, why do I spend time watching new movies when this is like right there for me? It's just like one of the best movies. It's really good. To be fair, Asghar Farhadi still makes new movies, so I, not really a fair complaint, but The Separation's really, really good. It's kind of a masterpiece. And then I saw two movies in theaters yesterday, one of which was Blink Twice, which we'll be talking about. The other is Strange Darling, which we kind of originally floated the idea of talking about on the podcast, but we decided to just do Blink Twice. Strange Darling, really fun, and people are kind of reviewing it and being like, oh, go into this one blind. Like, I guess they're kind of right, so I won't really say much about it. I'll just let people go see it, because it's really fun and it's probably not what you expect, and it takes some cool twists and turns, and it's a fun movie. I'm interested to like when more people see it, because there was stuff I wanted to like read about the movie immediately and like get answers to immediately that I couldn't, because there's almost nothing about it on the internet yet since it just came out, and like nobody is going to watch it. But I can't wait till more people see it, because there's some things I want to like talk about that I can't do yet. But good movie. People should watch it. Anyway.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah,
shot the
Giovanni
movie.
Ribisi. Okay, can I say one thing about the movie that's like it's not really
Sure.
a
Yeah, yeah.
spoiler or anything. It's just like a really, I saw it with our friend John, and as the movie starts, we both just like laughed at it immediately, because and this is one of those things I want to talk about in the movie, because I don't know if the movie is like doing certain things because it's taking itself really seriously, or doing them because it's like having fun and being silly. And I want to assume that they're having fun and being silly, because it's a better movie for me that way. The movie starts, and like the opening like title card just has text that pops up and says shot on 35 millimeter film, like with like it says the Miramax logo, and then right below it just goes shot on 35 millimeter film. And I want to like assume that it's them being funny, but apparently I was reading like one person's review, and someone was like, yeah, I went to like the Q&A, and they spent like 30 minutes talking about why they chose to shoot on film, and I was like, oh, so it's just like maybe they're just like taking themselves really seriously, which if that's the case, probably not as cool. But like it felt to me while I was watching the movie that there's like some things that they're doing that are like purposefully inspired by other movies and like
Maybe
making fun of them and stuff, which is like silly and fun. It's still like exciting thriller stuff, but
yeah.
I feel like if it's being silly on purpose, then it's doing its job, and I don't know if everybody else is going to interpret it that way.
Maybe talking about 35 millimeter for 30 minutes is just like them committing to the
To the
bit,
bit,
like
yeah,
to the
maybe.
fullest,
It's
you know?
possible.
And so that word spreads out about that, and then it just keeps going.
I did see a Letterboxd review that was like, the title card should have said shot on 35 millimeter film by beloved character actor Giovanni Ribisi. Because that is how they advertised it. But yeah, cool movie. Maybe when everybody else sees it, we'll talk about it a little bit more.
No,
But
we'll talk about it later.
yeah, but good movie. Anyway, that brings us to Blink Twice.
Blink
Zoe Kravitz's
Twice.
debut. what did we think?
We can just like kind of. This is a very like plot movie. I think it's like easy to kind of like start with like you have Naomi Aki who plays Frida.
Yeah.
And she is like a cocktail waitress, and the movie opens up with her like on the toilet on her phone.
Oh, we're going like to the very beginning.
No, we're going.
Oh no, I really, really like this opening scene a lot.
She's on the toilet.
I thought
like,
it was pretty.
Scrolling on like fucking TikTok and Instagram and shit.
It was like Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
She was,
yeah.
Well, she was in the Instagram Reels trenches.
Yeah, because you have like this like close up of her face, and then it's just like all these like random audios that keep playing when she's scrolling, and she like finds Slater King on there, and that's Slater King's gonna have this like banquet at where like the place where she works at. Slater King is like Channing Tatum's character, and he's this big like rich guy who like runs shit.
He's like a tech CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even. It took me a long time to even realize that's what he was supposed to be, like a tech CEO.
It's very like thin in that aspect. But so she goes to work and she goes to the banquet, and then she like meets Slater King, and they get to like talking, and she like totally doesn't really do her job. She like starts just being like a
they have like spare dresses hidden.
Yeah,
so like, dress up as like fancy people that are part of the banquet, and kind of.
Well, Frida and her just a friend that they like kind of they kind of infiltrate into this thing, and then Slater King is like they like get along and stuff, and then he's like, "Hey, you guys should come to my island," and that's like the setup of the movie. Is that this like rich tech guy is like, "Hey, you guys should come to my private island."
Yeah.
And then they go to the
famously
island.
A thing that people definitely say yes to.
Yeah.
When somebody has a private island.
Yeah.
Well, it's this idea that there's something there. It's interesting because it kind of opens up with this idea that Slater King is like falling for Frida, despite them being in totally different social classes and just like totally different brackets. Like they're not two people that should like fall for each other and for any reason,
or like interact more than
or like really
minutes.
yeah.
But like he doesn't know that, right? Because they're like pretending to be like rich people at first.
I think it's pretty obvious that they're not rich people from the very beginning. They're the only people in color dresses.
Yeah.
But they like lie about their job later, which like makes me think they're like trying to hide it.
I
think they're kind of I feel like there's like a few moments where it's kind of obvious to them that the people that they've invited are not wealthy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like they don't really like say it out loud, but there's just like interactions where you're like, oh, he kind of like knows. I don't know.
Well,
yeah. It's really interesting, like the opening stuff, because Frida is like locked in on Slater, like King. She like is like always like bumping into people, like falling down because she is like a deer in headlights, like hunting him down. It's very interesting the way like it's like this like kind of spell that there's like connecting the two, in terms of that. And so then they go on Slater King is like introducing her to all his like friends, and then they go on the island, and those like the main kind of characters, and you have like a bunch of like really great character actors in this movie. Like it's like a plethora of just like awesome people in this cast.
The cast fucking rocks.
Which it makes sense. This is like a kind of a norm for these like actor turned director movies. It's like, oh, I have a ton of actor friends. Let me put my actor friends in the movie, and like it very much has that like, I'm an actor, I'm gonna bring in all these fun actors, and they're gonna have fun performances, and that's not a negative. It's just that is a benefit, and that's kind of a thing that comes with these movies. But there is a ton of really great cast members.
Simon Rex is kind of just throwing heaters the whole movie.
Kyle MacLachlan shows up.
MacLachlan shows up for he has like 3 minutes of screen time total.
Haley Joel Osment.
What's his name? There's one guy who
Christian
actually
Slater.
there's a bunch of big names, right? And then you have Levon Hawke, who is Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's son. which I didn't know.
Oh, is he the
after
blonde guy?
watching it, he's the
Yeah,
young
the, like,
blonde kid.
the young
He's
one,
Wow.
Maya Hawke's sister. He's in that like Hawk family. I thought he was really great, and in terms of like you have all these like really big names, I thought he fit in really well in terms of like him being the kind of one of the more under-known actors. But yeah, a lot of great performances. It's really good ensemble cast. But yeah, so they go to the island, and it's like, immediately kind of there is like some off vibes. And the big movie that this is getting compared to is Get Out.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Saltburn.
There are multiple movies.
Okay.
I've seen Get Out a
Get
lot.
Out is, I think,
I've seen Saltburn. I've seen Glass Onion to an extent. Those are the things I've not to like as much as like the other ones, but those are movies that have been thrown up as comparisons. And I didn't know a lot going into this movie. I don't know how much you guys knew about the movie, because I don't really remember seeing trailers for this.
I saw the trailer a lot.
I did see a trailer
because I watched the trailer afterwards, and it was like, oh, this is like every plot beat in this movie, which I think like ruins a lot of the experience for it.
Yeah, I think one of my big complaints is that it's kind of really obvious really early where the movie is going, and it's like it does like do stuff when it gets there, but because you know that it's going there, you want it to like do stuff on the way, but instead there's just like an hour where they're like building up the mystery of it, and like where's the twist, and like when's it gonna happen, but like you know it already. So you're just like watching like an hour of movie that doesn't really matter because they keep like kind of hinting at like this thing that's going wrong.
That was kind of my favorite part, because, and I'll say this, they open with that like, hey, fucked up shit's gonna happen in this movie, like trigger warning thing. And I didn't know anything about the movie really. I've heard about like the kind of, Zoë Kravitz talk about the trigger warning stuff, and like, the kind of darker stuff of the movie, but I don't really know what kind of the movie was. And then they go to this thing, and they start having these like Get Out like moments where like the people who are working there are like giving the main character like these fucking eyes of like, you guys gotta fucking get out of here.
Yeah,
like,
that stuff I thought was like to Get Out.
It's very Get Out. Like it's very much like the working guy who works at the house is like giving him like deer in the headlight eyes. It's super like just pulled from Get Out. But so it's like this thing where it's like you're at this thing and everyone's having a good time, but you know something's wrong, and you know something's going to get really bad, and you know like people are going to get hurt, and that kind of element of just like waiting for that to happen, I thought was really effective. And I thought like that was like a lot of tension there. So that was probably like the best stuff for me in terms of like it's all happy and but it's like I'm just waiting for the bomb to go off, really.
Yeah, I like the sort of like montage sequences near the middle where they're just like partying every day, and it's like going back and forth between like night and day, and there's just like some short things that like seem off of them like running for no reason and stuff like that.
Them running, those are kind of like really eerie images in the middle of the movie, when it's like when the vibes are just really high, and it's like there really isn't anything to,
I just like, I don't know, maybe I'm correct, but I'm just like, I just like knew, and then I didn't like when like I liked like the highs, like where it's like them having fun or whatever, but then at a certain point when like stuff starts to unfold and it's like following the exact beat, like there's like a scene where she like goes into the one room to look for their phones or whatever, and she finds like photos, and I'm like this literally happens in Get Out. Like this is the reveal in Get Out, is like the guy finds the photo and then realizes like, oh, she's doing this to other guys. I'm like, this is just like the thing from Get Out. And like once it got to that part where it just kept like building up a thing, and she was like uncovering information, but the information she was uncovering is just like shit that was so obvious. Like I thought like the kind of like when they drink like fucking snake venom or whatever, and it like unlocks their minds, they their memory comes back, like when they would have those like flashes and get the nosebleeds, and then like you actually see things, I was like, oh, that's cool. But like the other stuff building up to it where they're like just trying to like piece it all together, I'm like, okay, I'm getting annoyed now. Like I don't know, maybe
we should say we're probably gonna spoil the movie here pretty soon.
We've kind of started to do that.
We didn't reveal like the big thing yet, I guess, but
we're getting close.
We're gonna reveal it in a second. So don't if you really don't want that part spoiled.
Okay,
then.
so they have so they go to the thing and they get there's clothes already set out for them, like in their size, and they have all this thing, like they have these rooms set and stuff, and they have this perfume that they're like told to like use and stuff, and then they're spraying that on each other or themselves on each other. That the perfume is making them like forget, basically.
That's like the reveal. That's the big twist. Is that the perfume's making them forget.
So they go through their days like having fun and partying and doing normal stuff, and then we'll get to that in a second. But when things happen at night, the perfume makes them forget those things.
Well, I mean, we could just say it. They're like, I mean, they're getting raped that night. That's like the big thing. They're getting
And because there's like a therapist involved, and so like they've
I don't
think the therapist actually like plays a role in like helping them pull it off.
Like
I don't think it's like his idea. It seems like more Channing Tatum's idea that they could do this whole thing. Like I don't know if the therapist like is the one who came up with the idea of like put something in the perfume that makes them forget, but pretty much the like brain side of it is that something really traumatic can happen to them, and what's in the perfume will make it so that they forget all of their trauma, so that like when they wake up the next day they can remember like certain things, but anything traumatic that happened to them is just going to be like erased from their memory, and so they can just keep doing that over and over and over again every night, and these women will never know that it happened to them.
And they wake up and they have like bruises, or they have like dirt in their nails. She's like dirt in her nails and stuff.
Which is the first time she notices the dirt under her nails. That's like a really eerie moment too, because that's like a really big like, oh, something's happening.
That's like her big thing, I guess. It's like a big like piece of her character, and comes to the plot points is like she has like her nails, and she like does these little like animal things in her nails, and you have one of the workers that she first meets, and she keeps like saying like red rabbit, and then like that comes in later, but there's like these like really like kind of
really dumb.
It's like that's like a part of like the plot, but
we could reveal that too.
That's a part. That's like another. Like I think that's like the bigger reveal almost.
Right.
In the movie.
Yeah. It's like it's like at the very end. That's a twist.
It reveals that like she's been here before.
Yeah, like a year ago. They mentioned at the beginning of the movie that she like did the banquet last year because her her boss or whatever is like, don't talk too much to Channing Tatum's character, like try to keep your mouth shut.
That, and I was a little confused when first watching it, because it plays like she's never met him before, like it plays like they don't really know each other, but the way that the guy who she's working with talks, like it's like they did this last year, so there's that weird opening. It's like okay, and then obviously later it's like and then that's like the red rabbit thing. She like has like red rabbits on her nails, but it's like she
finds a picture of herself
did this whole thing.
Yeah,
she did this whole thing last year, and then she all forgot it. And that's like the bigger twist, I guess, at the end of the movie.
Which like I guess that does factor in, because I said so much of it was like me knowing where it's going, but I didn't consider that, so that's like. But also, like, once that's revealed by the end, I'm just like, oh, interesting. Okay, but it's like, I don't know, like,
I mean, it's...
And that's kind of, God, the movie is so plotty. And then at the end, right, they basically, like, they drink the snake venom, which is, like, its whole other thing, and they figure out what's going on, and then they kill everybody.
They immediately kind of, so they... I don't know the character's name. It's Sarah,
best friend.
No. So that friend just dies.
Yeah,
that's a whole other.
That's like, we should mention.
That's a whole other part of the movie.
Like,
So what's her name?
Jess is the best
okay.
friend's name.
So Frida and Jess are the friends, and they go, and then Frida gets like some snake venom.
Gets bit by a snake.
No, Jess gets bit by a snake.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
So Jess gets bit by the snake. I think that's why she remembers, right? Because she gets bit by the snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, they say that because like we got
they say they have to kill her because she's like remembering.
She like gets her fucking neck snapped. So she gets bit by the snake. So she starts to remember things. So they kill her, and then the next day, nobody remembers that she fucking ever existed.
Yeah.
Besides Frida, because Frida
knew her
drank
before.
the fucking snake juice. So then she goes, and then she's like, okay, I gotta fucking figure out how to get everyone else to remember. And then so they take shots of the snake venom.
This is when the movie started to lose me a little bit. Just because it got so silly. It got when it was what's the actress's name?
I liked how silly it was. I thought it was
Adria Arjona.
Yeah, Adria Arjona.
Yeah.
When she becomes more of a character, I don't know. She is acting so different tonally to what the rest of the movie was doing when she starts actually talking.
The movie goes in a worse direction, but like I like that she is such a big role because I think she's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to like. That's probably where it veers into like Glass Onion territory.
Yeah, I mean, she's just doing what she did in Hitman, basically, when she starts getting an actual role.
Say that
in
like
this
it's
movie.
a bad thing.
Yeah,
well, I don't like
really
that.
good at
No, I don't like that.
Like the hater. Yeah, so they all drink the venom, and then they all remember. And then there's an immediate switch where they're like, they fucking like see the visions of all the stuff that happened, and then they just like start killing all the guys.
Yeah.
And Haley Joel Osment just gets fucking.
Yeah, I like how fast that happens.
It's a quick switch. They all just like start getting hacked, and they do actually like kill most of them, like really quickly. And then Channing Tatum is like the kind of the boss at the end there. Like he's like the main guy. Also, he's like the Slater King. So he's like that. And then there's like the whole like kind of like confrontational thing at the end. It's like the big.
He gives a monologue.
Ending. Yeah,
he does get a monologue.
He gives a monologue and he does the thing that what's his name does? Eddie Redmayne does from the Good Nurse. Did you guys ever see that?
Right. Yeah. I swear. Yeah. I did.
A really terrible moment in The Good Nurse. He pulls it off a little bit better here, but
like this, the I'm sorry.
Where he's
moment?
Yeah. Eddie Redmayne does the exact same thing in The Good Nurse. Oh, and
it's super actor turned director movie sequence. I don't know. This whole movie is very like script heavy, actor heavy movie, and I would like to talk about the kind of the way this movie is shot because it was really pissing me off at the beginning. I think there is like some level of there's more attention than like some really bad movies, but it is also like really fucking ugly. And that was really bothering me at the beginning, but it got like really interesting narratively towards like the middle. So I was like, I was kind of buying into it, and I was kind of like, okay, I can forgive the fucking ugliness to an extent. Because I'm actually having fun with it. And then it kind of got worse at the end for me.
She also did write the movie, although I think it's co-written. I'm not sure if she was the only writer.
it was her and I don't know who this is.
E.T. Feigenbaum.
Ooh.
Only wrote this movie. So
yeah, it does. It's like a kind of like the script. I don't know how you guys feel about the script.
Who is this guy? I'm sorry. He worked on one episode of High Fidelity that shows she was
interesting.
But only one episode.
Huh. Well,
I don't know.
I think it must have been a really good episode.
Wow.
Did any of you see that show?
No.
Come on, bro.
I watched it.
I was familiar with. I considered. It was
I don't even got a
long list of TV shows that I considered watching.
That's probably she's in the Batman. But
she's also in what's it called? Big Little Lies.
Oh,
really?
Oh, is she in that?
That's
I know that's a really big show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably the bigger TV credit, but I don't know. I guess High Fidelity, she's like the main.
She's the lead.
Also,
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz. So.
But sure, but that's not her. She's not
She
Lenny
was
Kravitz.
she was never in Lenny Kravitz.
What? I mean,
yeah, but blink twice, and then
no. But what
there's like
what do you think about the script though?
I think that it is mostly a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like interest. I don't know. I don't like when most of the movie isn't saying anything that interesting. But then I think like toward the end there was things where I was like, oh, this is kind of something. I don't like. I hate movies about cancel culture because that's like kind of the I don't know. But I just don't really trust.
You don't hate movies about cancel culture.
No, okay. Well, fucking Tar doesn't count. Okay.
Yes, it does.
I'm saying that's like that. Tar's like a movie made by a genius. Okay, that's like a different thing entirely. I don't want like a Hollywood actor turned director writer to be like, let's make a movie about
like make a movie
like that. Like conceptually, that sounds annoying, but like it seemed like it was kind of saying something interesting about it. I don't know. I thought the whole like part of Channing Tatum's monologue where there's like this idea of like I forget the exact words, but he's pretty much just like saying like forgetting versus forgiving, which I think is a really interesting idea with cancel culture, which is that like a lot of people could just do pretty bad shit and like it's not really about like whether anybody like any regular people forgive a celebrity. It's just like some amount of time passes and they just like don't really care anymore about some terrible thing that they did, and they're just like, oh, we could watch this guy's movies again or whatever the fuck it is, like whatever he does. So I thought that was like kind of interesting. It's like maybe I don't know, that's like the one thing I pulled out of the movie that I was like, oh well, I don't think I've really seen any other movies kind of try to talk too much about that. But other than that, I don't love the script. I don't know.
I think like thematically it's pretty broad and just sort of obvious, but I think like structurally it's a pretty decent script. I think like just like the setups of like certain devices, like the lighter that keeps showing up, and like
there are
I didn't even think about that. That is good. Yeah.
Objects or like little like devices where
there's
it's
there's like 30 Chekhov's guns. So
I'm like exactly. Where like it comes to the point where I'm like it like in the moment it's like, oh, it's really smart, but it comes like kind of like really like a lot and like maybe like obnoxious, like to the point of like at the end, like the bucket that the cleaning lady leaves, like she like kicks it over and there's like photos in the bucket and it's like there's like
you just forget about that.
It's like so many like random things, and like there's like they keep the guy has like he has his finger bitten off, or like it's not or you don't know that yet, but the guy has his finger gone.
He does not have his finger, is what you're saying.
Yes, that is the statement that I am making. And they like ask about it, he doesn't say anything, and then there's like later it's like
you find out
her biting his finger off, and there's like so much of that where it's like, okay, it's a little like a lot, and it's kind of like it's I don't know. It's not like I guess a negative, but it is.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much of it there is until you pointed out.
Not a lot, or like not a lot of purpose.
It is like kind of easy to follow still, though. I will say.
No, I'm not saying it's not.
I don't know. It was very like watchable. I imagine for like the average, like it's like I think you kind of could follow all the threads and because it does point to all of them. Like it calls a lot of attention to all of them, so it's pretty hard to forget about any of them. But I don't know. It is probably a little excessive.
I think it like moves pretty fast though too. Like there aren't a lot of total lulls. I thought like it takes a while to get
it's like
started,
fun enough
maybe.
the whole time. I think
because you get to the island pretty quick, and then it's just like it's like a party until it's not a party.
Yeah, I will say I don't know if I ever like was having too much fun on like before like things get serious. I'm like I never really like laughed at anything. Like I never really like I was just like okay, this is fine, but like I wasn't really like all that entertained by most of what was going on, and then I also wasn't really all that thrilled by what was going on when it did get intense because, like I said, I kind of like knew where we were headed. So like once everything kind of started to unfold, I was just like, well, that's what I expected to happen. So I mean, it does have its moments. Like some of it's like a little bit more violent than I thought it would be. Like some of it's like a little more exciting than I thought it would be. But it's like I did kind of know that it was going to do all those things, so I was never like super entertained.
Yeah, the like quick turn into violence at the end was like actually pretty. Like, it went
yeah, like that's pretty fun.
Yeah, just like the way they all kill each other.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what you said, Kevin. I think like that's like my most glowing review of this movie is like it has its moments. And I just think it's not like amazing or anything. I think it's just fine. I think the ending left me like a little like okay.
Let's talk about the last scene and like what you guys think about that,
because I kind of was like, oh, the Channing Tatum ending where like the house is on fire. I was like, oh, this is like, yeah, it's a solid ending. And then well, you have this scene, right, where like the Frida has succeeded and she's not gonna die and whatever, and you think she's gonna she's dragging Sarah out, and you don't see who she's dragging out, and then she's talking to Sarah. They're seeing the house burn down, and then it does like a wider angle, and you see that she brought Channing Tatum out of the burning building, and then it goes back to the like whatever place where she worked at
like
originally.
The banquet. Next year.
The next year at the banquet, and they do the whole like it's like kind of the same kind of structure of the way the beginning of the movie started, and then it does like a reveal that she is now Frida King, and now she is like the CEO of King Tech or whatever.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I really didn't like that.
It really breaks the immersion, and I'm about to say something really dumb. You can't just like be a CEO. That's like a job that like you need to have experience and specific skills for.
My assumption was that she basically blackmailed him into giving her.
Well, she like he like forgets shit. I feel like that my assumption of the movie was like she like made him forget shit, because like he's like all like the Kyle MacLachlan's character comes up to him and he like doesn't fucking know what to say to this guy. Like he doesn't recognize him. Like he's like all like awkward and so my reading of that final scene was like, so she makes him forget like everything, kind of makes him like this like fucking vegetable, and then she like takes over all his shit basically.
Right, but there's like it is what Doug said. It's hard to believe the immersion because you have to consider that if it's a like multi-billion-dollar company, there are like shareholders voting on CEOs and stuff. There's no way she just like convinced everybody and they were like okay
did she
with
make
it. They would have been like,
everyone in the world?
Like, we're not making her CEO.
It feels like everyone in the world forgot who Slater King was. It feels like, and to the point
but then like from their perspective, the likely replacement for a guy that they don't know is not his wife.
It's very
silly.
Bizarre,
it's very
silly. I also
but it is it's like
the message of that whole sequence.
Yeah, but I don't know.
No, it's about like reclaiming power and like taking it back, and it's what
it's like
it was very
the
odd
best revenge type of thing.
Sure.
I guess I don't like that idea though. I don't know. I think it's like a weaker movie because of it. I don't really know that like solves anything. I get that it's kind of silly on purpose and whatever, but
I wasn't even sure like what exactly the message of the like final thing was, because like is it supposed to be that like it's like, oh, she got her revenge and now she's like the one in charge, or is it like more of a dark like she instead of like finding justice, she just like becomes part of the system that like
I think it's closer to the first thing, but I think the reality of it is that she's now part like from our perspective it's like, yeah, this is dumb because you are just part of this. Like it's like becoming a tech billionaire is not the solution to your problems or anybody's problems. Like if you want to help people, so that's like, but I think the movie is not real. I don't know that the movie is like trying to say that. I think it's trying to say the first thing a little bit more, which is, and that's why I don't like the ending. I'm like, this is a little bit dumb.
I don't know.
especially as like a movie about class too, when you consider like where she starts the movie versus like where she ends. It's like, this is not how you help people. And then they have their whole big like, I mean, the whole big like climax of the movie is all these women coming together to like, it's like all these women come together to do something, and then at the end it's like, oh, now you're just a billionaire CEO. It's like, where do you go from there? Because you're not really going to be helping people now. Like,
but that's why I thought it was supposed to be more the second thing, where like,
sure, maybe it is doing that on purpose,
but it's so short and feels so tacked on that it's just hard to gauge what the intent was at all with that ending.
No, yeah,
like
I agree. I think.
Sorry, there's no shot of like bodyguards or something like at the gala, and like the way that shot almost makes it look like they're gonna like arrest somebody or something, but then
I was like, are they about to arrest Slater King? I was very confusing because they're like talking like, oh, we can fucking, they'll say something, and it's like, I don't know what they say, but like, we're gonna fucking get them, and it's like oh, I was like, oh, my initial was like reading of it was like, oh, she's back at the thing. And now she like told these fucking people that like Slater King did all these things.
Exactly.
He's gonna get arrested at the fucking whatever it's called, and like everyone's gonna see that, and it's gonna be a big thing. And then it like totally like just like a little like, no, she's fucking.
Yeah, that seems like like it's supposed to be like a dark twist of like.
Right. Yeah. No, it could be. I think that's a good
reading. It goes
reading,
from
Aidan, for sure.
the promising young woman fucking police ending to the Saltburn ending really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing here?
It does.
Young woman ending would be even worse, I think.
Yeah, no.
And I thought that's what I was doing at first.
No, it's, I don't know.
No, the movie should have ended with them on the island, and instead of killing anybody, the FBI shows up. Like she just like is able to call them.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Because they're like, there's like a thing where like they take their phones, and then she goes to get her phone, and then there's just no Wi-Fi. Which is also funny because it's like, if there was no Wi-Fi on the plate, like why would they take their phone?
How did they get off the island?
They figured it out.
Probably
I guess if she can blackmail him at some point, then she could figure out. Like he probably knows.
Yeah, he has a way off.
He probably has Wi-Fi or
because she makes him forget, and then she's like, "Oh, we gotta go."
Yeah.
But the phone thing I thought was very silly. I guess like from my character's point of view, like they don't know. But from my perspective, I was like, so obviously you guys are not going to have service on this like remote island. It's like some people don't have service in the middle of America. Like
yeah.
But I think also they just didn't want them to have like a watch. Like they didn't want them to.
Yeah, no, they don't want them to know what day it is. They don't want them to know how long they've been on the island.
That's a big part of the movie because she keeps asking like what day it is, and they have all these like montages, and it's not really like you don't know what day it is, but
because like they're basically just like drugged and sedated, and they're like they're insane victims, just crazy.
Can I circle back and ask you guys who your favorite character or like performance was, since Doug shot down my Adria Arjona? I want to know who everybody else liked the most.
Adria Arjona is a talented actress.
Yeah, I think she was really great in this.
I do as well.
I think Channing Tatum seals the show in this because he's the leading guy.
My thing is, I'm the biggest Channing Tatum fan in the world. Like I love that guy.
Doesn't sound like it if you're prefacing it like that.
Okay. Whatever. It sounds like you hate him. It sounds like you don't like him.
Anybody who listens to this podcast knows how much I like Channing.
It sounds like you don't like him.
You can't even do this because everybody knows how much I like him.
Do they?
I just like, I don't like the marketing for the movie was them like talking very often about Channing Tatum. They were like, oh, like nobody's ever seen Channing Tatum like this before. Like you're not gonna whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I wish he got to like dial it up like 10 times more than what he did. Like he has like the monologue, which is fun, and like, but the rest of it is like I know Channing Tatum could do all these things. Like I know,
he's just doing charming for most of the movie.
Yeah, he's just like doing what he does, and like I don't like. I really was like, that was kind of what sold me on the movie. Like the reason why I was excited. I mean, we might have even like I don't know. I'm sure we would have done this movie on the podcast this week regardless, but like it's not the biggest release, and like we could have just done anything this week. But like the reason why I was excited to go watch this movie was because of how much I like Channing Tatum. And then I watched it and I was like, well, he's just like I don't know. I mean, he's great in it, but it's like everything that I know he can do already. Like I wish I wish it was like something more like like what it seemed like I was going to be getting out of it. I don't know, which is like,
So you're saying that you like the movie less because you watched the trailer, and the trailer convinced you of
no, I did.
something.
It's not even from the trailer. It's like from what they were saying. Like it was like I saw like interview clips of them. I saw like Channing and Zoe doing like interviews together, and them being, and even he was like, yeah, like you know, like it's a fun whatever. He was like, I'm sure like you guys have never seen a character like this, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know, like most of the movie he's just
That's
doing
just
Channing
press,
Tatum
though.
stuff. He's just like being hot and like having and like being charismatic and like doing what he does, and then
In
like
defense of that kind of press stuff, it is difficult when you have like a real actor, right? Like a like a real actual like serious actor play a character that is so evil.
sure.
That is a challenge, and especially if they have to actually tap into that at some points and say things that are kind of like irredeemable and like really try and be convincing. That's a challenge for somebody that it takes like acting really seriously.
Yeah.
Um,
And
No, I'm
somebody
not
who's
like,
just
I don't want to.
naturally likable.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want to like
right.
diminish it. Like, I'm not saying he's not good. It's probably still like my favorite performance in the movie. I just like, I don't know. I guess I just wanted even more than what it is, but that's fine. That's not like the reason why I don't love the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. I liked seeing Simon Rex in like a sort
Oh
of bigger
yeah.
movie.
Well, of course.
Mhm.
Like small
Yeah.
role, but he's just such an interesting presence.
Yeah,
I
he's kind of
think,
funny every time he shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, Naomi Aki is the lead, but I think she does a lot of great acting in terms of like portraying fear. Like in terms of like she is like just like kind of terrified and like really like doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and I think like she does a lot in terms of
Yeah.
like the way that she acts with her face. And like in terms of like a more it's like a mystery kind of thriller thing, but in terms of like she has a lot of horror acting, and I think she does that really really well in
Yeah.
this movie.
And
Yeah.
especially at the end when she's like remembered everything but is pretending that she didn't, and has to like play
Mhm.
along with everyone while like
Yeah.
also portraying being scared out of her mind. It's
Yeah, those moments I think are really interesting because they come off as like funny at times, but also like really like you don't know what's gonna fucking happen to the people, and it's like they're hiding in turn. It's very interesting in terms of like they know and they can't like show that they know, because if they know they die basically. There's
right.
very interesting with Adria Arjona and Naomi Aki, and kind of the way that they're like the whole like where she is like scream like fat blunts or something across like the fucking, it's like really it's like super ridiculous
It's
shit.
very silly. Yeah.
But it's like it's I don't know, there's very interesting moments like that in that kind of small section of the movie. I almost wish there was more like moments where we have the kind of the girls remembering and like kind of doing more mystery, like searching for stuff, because there's a really quick switch of like them knowing and then them like just like killing or like really being aggressive, whereas like I kind of like the kind of like the sleuthing around the like big fucking house and like looking for stuff, because they do kind of find what they're looking for pretty quickly. And that I think that's like kind of an aspect that was interesting to me. I wish they like, kind of tapped into that more, because it is like they're on this big island and there's like these like weird like there's this room where there's all these like fucking red bags in it. It's like really ridiculous. Like they have these like gift bags with the perfume in it.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be more interesting to kind of tap into that stuff,
Yeah.
because it is that like kind of thriller, like mystery, like learning information kind of movie.
I think that the idea of your memory not like your memory being an asset and not something that you have total control out of and out of the total control of, and your memory being like something that's malleable and able to like shift and
Mm-hmm.
changed and like manipulated. I
Yeah.
think that's a really interesting idea that isn't utilized enough in movies. I mean,
Okay.
it's utilized sometimes. Like obviously, like Memento is like one of the most
Sure.
popular like American films.
Yeah.
But I think it's like something that like people don't play with enough, because in something like cinema where it is so visual and you get to cut and really have control over what what the audience sees, it's something that you could really play with, because it is a hard thing to describe, memory at least.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like when there's like at its best here, there's like one that's kind of working with those kind of concepts. And in like I think there's a lot. I don't think this movie's perfect. There's a lot like they can do more with that kind of stuff. But I think that's definitely like the word's more interesting, I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean it's cool, but for like a directorial debut, like a feature,
it's definitely not
debut,
the worst of the actor turned director.
Yeah, no, I mean it does have it has its flaws, and a lot of that comes with that like thing,
and a lot of it is just like ideas like that they're trying to do too much without really succeeding on a lot of it.
Yeah, it is kind of that like a debut film thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like wowed about a lot of it.
Would we watch another Zoe Kravitz movie?
Yeah, I mean, I would watch Zoe Kravitz. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on.
Going with that.
I don't know. It depends on the like what it is. I wasn't like blown away with this. It is very like script acting thing going on. But I do think there's a lot of kind of interesting things that are attempted here. And maybe a sophomore film would be a stronger one.
Yeah. She's such a great performer. I kind of hope that she performs in her next one. Maybe that's a selfish thing to say, but
yeah.
No, yeah,
I'd be happy if Channing Tatum has another leading role in another one.
She clearly can get good performances out of actors, and that's like, you know, if you're an actor turned director and you can't do that, it's rough. But there is definitely that is shown here. Like she gets a lot of good performances at a lot of people, and that is definitely, you know, a plus for sure. Not everyone can do that.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if she'll like stay in the sort of genre space or like try something else.
She's I mean, this is kind of her doing a Jordan Peele movie, right?
Yeah.
Except this is sillier than Jordan Peele movies. So I imagine that like this kind of like prestige horror with a sense of humor, I'd imagine is the kind of thing that she'll do again if she makes another movie. But
yeah, which could be really great. You know, those are fun movies.
Could be.
See.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll come back in 3 years.
Yeah, when the next one comes out. Okay, we can wrap up there if you guys don't want to say anything else about the movie.
We'll come back in 3 years and be like, oh, she's really good in the Batman Part 2.
Which she directed.
Which she directed.
After she killed Matt Reeves.
Okay, we're going to talk about news, but first, usual reminders, like, comment, subscribe, rate the episode, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter, wherever else you want to follow us, and follow Aidan, of course. All those links are in the episode description wherever you're listening. And we actually have like a decent amount of news after a short week, I guess.
It's a normal week.
Well, no, but we recorded Sunday last time, so one less day for news to pour in. PM. Yeah, so like a
so it's actually not
24 hours of the news cycle that got cut from.
Yeah,
anyway, more of the cast for Alejandro G. Inarritu's next movie. Alongside Tom Cruise, we got Sandra Hüller, Jesse Plemons, Sophie Wilde, Riz Ahmed, John Goodman, and Michael Stolberg.
The GOAT.
Yeah, so Inarritu's new movie, we knew it was going to be Tom Cruise, right? That was the big news. Like, oh, Tom Cruise is going to do something that's not written by fucking Christopher McQuarrie,
or Doug
which is huge. It's huge. But we got the rest of the cast, which is kind of like an all-star collection of guys, a little bit. Yeah. A lot of really
John Goodman.
Yeah, I mean John Goodman, but like Sandra Hüller, who should have won an Oscar last year.
Coming off like 2 insanely good performances.
And Jesse Plemons is in every movie.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons, who's one of the best actors just working in Hollywood right now. He's really amazing. But we also got the plot synopsis. Do you have the plot synopsis in front of you, Kevin?
I don't have it written down, but I can pull it up to you.
It's like
if you can ramble for a second.
Powerful man in the world. He's so powerful. He's really powerful, and
he's
he
really
fucks shit up.
powerful.
He fucks
He's
shit up.
really strong. He can lift a lot of weights. That's the thing. They're saying that he what's that guy's name? The Thor. He's in Game of Thrones.
What?
Wait, who? Do you mean the Mountain?
Well, like, what's the guy's name that plays the Mountain?
Oh, he's like the power lifter. I forget his name. It's Hafthor Bjornsson, I think. Is that?
Oh,
his
yeah,
name?
that is his name. You said I forget his name and just pulled it up.
Well, I used to. Fun fact
immediately.
about me is that I used to be addicted to watching the World's Strongest Man competitions. I loved those.
That's a little lore drop.
Yeah, a little lore drop. I used to love watching those.
World's
I don't know
Strongest
why.
Man.
I don't.
I was
work
kind of
out,
into
but
that.
it's very
I was
fun.
into World's Strongest Men when I was like 7.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Are you? I can't find the font synopsis. I'm trying. I tried to open the tweet that I used for the news, but the tweet does not have the synopsis.
Okay, hold on. I got it.
Anyway,
the film follows the most powerful man in the world who tries to prove he is humanity's savior before the disaster he's unleashed destroys everything.
Ridiculous.
Sounds
So
fucking
it's
awesome.
about Tom Cruise.
No.
It's Scientology.
No.
It's not Scientology.
But that is the assumption
sounds
when you make when Tom Cruise is the guy. He's like, oh, he's going to be this role. He's going to be this like this messiah figure gone wrong.
That'll be.
But what if it is John Goodman?
I'm not. That would be lame as fuck. I'm not Inarritu's like biggest shooter. Birdman was my favorite movie when I was like 16. I loved that movie so much.
But now you're like 30.
What,
So.
so do you think people? Can you say on the record that you think people who like Birdman still are dumb?
Can you
I
see
like
their
Birdman
baby
still.
brains? See their goo fucking munchers?
But Inarritu is not like my favorite filmmaker, but I'm very excited because of this cast and this plot specifically. Because the thing about not Birdman, the thing about Inarritu is that he, and I think that this like universally people agree with this, is that he is so talented and so skilled. And like undeniably a skilled filmmaker that knows like how to do stuff with a camera and how to like direct actors and get performances out of people.
Yeah, but
but
now are you going?
No. I was because like a lot of the criticisms with his work is like, oh yeah, it's so difficult to be a really famous and successful like a filmmaker, and how his stuff is very like self-indulgent and self-righteous and kind of like self-pitying.
So this is about how he is the Messiah and he failed.
Yeah, probably, right?
Right.
Did you guys see?
This is about him making Bardo. Yeah, this is about.
The only movie I've seen of his is Beautiful with Javier
You haven't
Bardem.
seen Birdman?
Oh wow.
I haven't seen any of his movies.
I know.
I
that's
like
a normal
Beautiful.
thing for Owen not to have seen.
It's actually Beautiful was recommended to me by one of my screenwriting professors because I was
one of
working
Michael
on
Mann's favorite movies.
a script that was similar.
Oh man,
Which
we
one?
never talked about Michael Mann's favorites list.
Yeah. Oh, Beautiful was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. What a ridiculous list.
Oh.
No, it's like a good movie. I mean, it's not like
Sure, the movie's probably fine. His list is ridiculous.
it's like good. It
Poor
is.
Things is on his list.
Like Black Hawk Down is on his list. I think.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
he likes what he likes. Okay. Next piece of news. Lionsgate pulled the new trailer for Megalopolis and apologized after quotes in the trailer were revealed to be fabricated.
Well, this happened
up.
so fast.
So
we need
funny.
to start at the beginning.
Yeah,
and talk
you
about
the full. If you want to give the full timeline, I was just kind of giving the shortened version.
New Megalopolis trailer.
Yeah.
It's super
It drops
awesome.
At like 10 a.m.
Just like 10 a.m. It's just like well, there's cool stuff, cool new looks at the movie, like clips and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have, who is it? Is it Morpheus?
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, yes, it is. Lawrence Fishburne Lawrence Fishburne is basically
Morpheus.
No, dude, they were
like
it's like a Michael.
They were literally roasting us for being babies last week during Alien Romulus, and now you're looking at Lawrence Fishburne and you're like, who's that guy that plays Morpheus?
No, it does. Like it's like a Michael Jordan doc the way it opens.
Yeah,
it's
it's like the greatest.
He didn't make the basketball team in junior high. It's like some crazy
genius. Genius is never recognized immediately. And it's like all of this it pulls crazy up like bars.
Fake Roger Ebert quotes.
Fake Roger Ebert quotes. Yeah, it's so funny.
Every single one was fake.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of fake quotes.
So they were done by AI, correct?
It's ChatGPT.
They were like, so this guy at Lionsgate was like, give me a negative quote about The Godfather from a critic that people know, and then it like gave him like a fake, or like it either gave him a fake quote like entirely made up, or in the case with the Roger Ebert one, it was like this was his review or a quote from his review of Batman. And they just threw it on Dracula.
Yeah.
And this is so ridiculous because it's like, one, it's like you work for Lionsgate, you are a marketing person that working on the Megalopolis trailer, and you can't like fucking look up a review. That's one. Two, it's like either no one fucking looked this over, or they just like
nobody.
They just fucking. It's like what?
Nobody.
It's like
this is such a. It's just the craziest.
How do you release this?
Yeah, like how did no one who saw the trailer be like, "Damn, I'm surprised that Ebert would say that."
Because it took like less than an hour for people to be like, "This shit is fake." Like,
it literally was posted, and then people were tweeting about it like 30 minutes later.
Because like this one guy, I remember, like I saw a tweet immediately that was like, I looked to go read Pauline Kael's The Godfather review after
it's like really
this
positive.
trailer, and it's like super positive, and she never says like the quote is just not in her review.
Which is like, dog.
It's so bad. Well, because what happened was like,
this is what happens when
pitched.
you use ChatGPT as a search engine.
This is why it happens when you use fucking Lionsgate. Dude,
they pitched like, oh, like what if we do this, right? Like, so like people didn't like these movies when they came out. Like some people didn't like these movies when they first came out, right? What if we do like a trailer like this? And then this guy's part of his job was just getting the pull quotes.
Yeah, and he fucked up. He was like fucking drunk, and he like strolled into work, and he fucking opened ChatGPT, and
he forgot.
It's ridiculous because it's kind of like it's a smart marketing decision to be like, because the whole idea of like people talking about like how they're gonna market this movie, right? It's like an unmarketable movie, and they're like,
perfect way to
he's the guy who made The Godfather, right? So it's like put that in the fucking trailer. Everyone was like, that's the move, right? He made The Godfather, he made Apocalypse Now, he made this, he made that, and then it was like, okay, the movie's not doing well. People like the critics aren't liking it. The people didn't like these movies, or some people didn't like these movies as well.
Literally an 11 out of 10 trailer
idea.
It's
so smart in terms of like how to get people excited for it that weren't already excited for it, right? And all this guy had to do was just like Google fucking reviews and like find a quote that fit for the fucking trailer. And he failed, and they pulled that trailer down, and it's like so embarrassing on their front. It's like ridiculous.
It's so really funny because I was at my sister's wedding, like literally the week before. I was talking to her friend who I forget what the conversation was. We were marketing. I forget what the conversation was, but it was like something movie related, and then she like pulls up ChatGPT on her phone to like look something up, and I was like, you can't use ChatGPT as a search engine. And she was like, no,
you can.
No, I know, but I was like, it's not reliable. And then but it was like, for whatever she was
why
looking
would you use that over Google?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like, for whatever she was looking up, it made sense. And she was like, I don't do
Google
this.
Google is AI now.
Google is AI too, bro. It's like, and Google AI is fucking worse than ChatGPT.
Yeah. But still, like, I was like, it's just funny that I was like literally just having a conversation about it, and then a week later, a guy's just like, let me do this to pull up quotes and not.
This is the industry now. It's happening.
They're using AI for everything, despite AI not working out successfully like a single time.
And this is just like if they use AI and they got caught this time. You know, it's like they got caught because it fucked up. It's like they're using AI and other shit. It's just like.
It's not like the worst idea.
You just need to check.
If they just had somebody to spend like 10 seconds being like, let me just. All you have to do is just take the quotes that ChatGPT pulled,
put it in Google,
and then put them on Google. Yeah. Like, just type the quote with the name and see if it pops up with like a real review or not.
Yeah, it takes like 10
you can literally just copy and paste it.
Yeah, well, and then they'll realize like, oh, the quotes aren't real. Good thing that we you know. It's good thing we fact checked this and didn't put this out. No, it's just a mess, bro.
People are bad at their jobs.
Yeah, I will say though, this is very silly, and it doesn't really matter. There were some people doing some outrage stuff about talking about how like this is like unacceptable and like evil, and I'm like, they were doing too much.
It's
just very silly.
It's just like
it's
a guy being bad at
embarrassing
his
from
job.
like
Yeah.
Lionsgate's marketing perspective, but
Yeah.
in terms of like the movie or like anything like larger than that, it's like
It doesn't.
know,
Like,
there were
it doesn't,
people being
hurt
like, "How
anybody,
could you
it's just
defend
people
Francis
being
Ford Coppola?" And I'm like,
after
you
this.
I don't think
you
he
think
had
he pitched the
anything to do
trailer?
with
Like, what do you?
He's
Yeah.
done far worse than fucking ChatGPT, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we talking about, bro?
And
Next.
his ass wasn't on fucking the computer being like fake Pauline quote on fucking
Roger hated me.
It's like what?
Andrew Saris did it like The Godfather.
Yeah, he like I'm sure he knew he could pull fucking bad Godfather things out of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
The
just
thing is
asked
that
him
probably
for
no one
fucking
has
bad-
heard
Yeah,
of
they
any
could have
of the
literally just
critics.
asked him. They
He,
could have
yeah, he
literally just asked him.
probably knew who didn't like that movie.
Yeah. It's funny that they felt the need to like use the 4 critics that people have heard of, even though
Yeah, no, literally, yeah.
like
That's true. If they just used like random names, maybe nobody would have checked.
Yeah, they
well,
should make up
they
names.
could find
and
real
reviews.
ones more easily if they didn't
Sure,
feel the need
yeah.
for it to be Ebert and
No, yeah,
Campbell.
there are people that have not liked all of those movies.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
has happened. It does exist.
It's funny that they used even like Andrew Saris as one of the fake quotes too, because he is one of the critics that people have heard of, but it's like normal people don't know who fucking Andrew Saris is. Like it's not
Yeah,
gonna.
like
He's not
the,
like
the
he's.
peop- the crowd that they're trying to pull in are not the people who know movie critics.
Yeah,
But it's
by
also
name.
like it's like if
Like-
I know a movie critic and I like that critic and he didn't like his movie, like why would
all
I
the
want
critics
to
they
see-
pulled were dead.
Yeah.
No, I
all
know,
dead, bro.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to be like, hey, this like famous person hated this movie, so
Yeah.
you're like this new one.
Yeah.
No, they should have done the same exact thing, but instead of The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and Dracula, it was One from the Heart, like Twixt, not Jack.
And Jack.
No, because no one
Yeah,
has
but
seen
that also
One from the Heart and
that
Twitch.
also ruins the whole thing because the whole idea
It'd be
is
so
like,
funny
people hated
if
these
they- it
movies
was
when
like-
they came out, but now you love
was
them.
like The
Nobody loves
Godfather.
those movies.
The Godfather, The Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, Jack, The Conversation, and they like just threw Jack in like the middle of like all of them.
They should have.
They're all like coming at you really fast, so you can only read the movie name for like half a second.
Yeah.
They could pull Godfather Part 3 quotes and just have Part 3 in really fine print.
Yeah. No.
Could be
Yeah.
smart.
It's like Jack is back.
Okay.
Jack is back.
Speaking of Jack
We're gonna-
Black and Paul Rudd are in talks to star in a reimagining of the 1997 horror movie Anaconda with Tom Gormican set to direct.
Who's that?
You guys know
Fuck
who
no.
what
Yeah,
movie
no,
Tom
thank you.
Gormican made?
Did he do
What movie did Tom Gormican
He did
direct?
Jumanji?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive
Oh.
Talent with Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal.
Yikes.
Did we do an episode
No,
on that movie?
it's the unbearable
I don't-
weight of
maybe,
massive
actually.
make.
I
I
watched it.
I
I
think we
think
talked
we
about it on the
might have.
podcast.
I don't remember.
I don't know. We all watched it.
I've seen it.
I've
Yeah.
seen it too. I saw it in
Yeah.
theaters.
Yeah, me too.
I
Anyway,
haven't seen it in theaters.
so I think
Anaconda, famously starring Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, and John Voight.
yeah, Anaconda rocks. This is like
Let's do a
I
fact
think
check
I
here.
think
What's-
I think their reimagining of it is like they're doing like a
Rock.
It's like meta. It's like meta.
like yeah, it's I think they're like making like Tropic Thunder but for Anaconda or something.
Oh,
it's like the movie
Oh.
exists.
It's like
in the
a
world.
film. Yeah, the movie Anaconda exists in the world of the movie, and then they're like going to film like a new Anaconda movie in.
it's like
In
Scream
this-
3.
I wonder
Yeah,
if
I
Jack
don't- I
Black
don't
is going to
remember. It
play
sounds
Jack
bad.
Black. Because if Jack Black is playing Jack Black and Paul Rudd's playing Paul Rudd and they're going to go film an Anaconda movie, does this director just make
Yeah,
movies
is that
with
his
guys?
talent? Is just like bringing out performances from actors who are just playing themselves.
That's very silly. Maybe it's
I'm
good.
tired of
I don't
watching
know.
Jack Black play with himself.
Let me rephrase that. It's
Yeah.
not going to be good. Maybe it's entertaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Because the unbearable weight of massive talent. Bro,
It's
that movie
not
had
good.
so much like potential. Because like
yeah,
having
it was such a fun idea. on
Because
paper.
Nick
it's
Cage
such a
is
fun
awesome.
idea. Yeah, well, well, capitalizing on it's like, okay, Nick Cage is playing Nick Cage, right? And then you have Pedro Pascal playing opposite of him. It's like that's such a fun idea that did not was not fully
Yeah, and
realized.
now you have fucking Mr. Minecraft playing against Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Mr.
Steve from
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Jack Black. He's Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah,
We never talked about that. Did you guys see the pictures, the leaks? The
Jack Black's
Minecraft
leaks?
movie
Can you not like
leaks?
say that sentence vaguely without
Did
any
you guys see
follow-up?
Jack
Can you-
Black leaks?
Did you guys see the leaks? What the fuck? What the fuck do you
If
mean?
I look up Jack Black leaks, I don't know if I'm gonna like that.
the Minecraft leaks.
Minecraft leaks.
Yeah.
First
of
look
him.
at Jack Black is Steve.
It's like Steve's
Yeah, or it's
penis.
he's
they
it's like Jack
deleted
Black
this shit
Steve.
off Reddit. It's gone.
Oh yeah, well I watched them. I saw them. They were images. It looks so bad. The Minecraft movie's about to be the worst fucking movie ever made, bro.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's gonna make
Yeah.
$1.6 billion.
Yo, they got Jack Black.
It's a
Steve
good thing it's gonna
Minecraft
be
skins.
Super Mario Bros. Movie Part 2. So.
Jack Black's
Wait,
about to become like the highest grossing fucking
It's
actor
gonna
in
be
the next
like
couple years.
it's like giving Free Guy.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
No, I mean but a good point because he is probably just gonna make nothing but kids movies, like huge kids movies, and that's just like what's crushing the box office right now.
Yeah, he's gonna
That's
do
always been the case.
Minecraft.
No, sure, yeah, but it's like Inside Out 2 just like broke the fucking record for highest grossing animated movie ever, and,
Which
like,
is crazy.
Super
Wait, is
Mario
he in
Super
that
Mario
movie?
Bros was a smash hit. No, I'm
No,
just
he's in
saying it's a
Mario
kids
Bros, though.
movie.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be in
Yeah.
Minecraft, and he's gonna be in Mario Bros. Part 2, which is gonna do
Yeah.
even better than the first one.
And he's gonna
Yeah.
be in Borderlands too.
Well, he was in Borderlands 1.
Yeah, but he's gonna be in the sequel.
What do we get the box office return for that for Borderlands?
Yeah,
Do
let
we
me
know?
let me double check here. I think it
We know what
was
the
I
numbers
think it
are?
was 100 Chuck E. Cheese tickets.
It looked like he was looking it up. Pedro Pascal was reportedly suggested as a replacement for Joaquin Phoenix in Todd Haynes' gay romance film, but his schedule is packed until the end of the year with Fantastic Four and The Mandalorian filming.
Okay, this might be crazy. This is like really my actual take because I've sat on this news for a second. I think that if it's possible, it might just not be possible. I think if it's possible, Todd Haynes and crew should just postpone production and wait for Pedro Pascal. Is that crazy to say?
If they could get him, then I think
I think that they should just wait. It just might not be possible for them to wait. But if Pedro Pascal is interested and he just can't because of the fucking Marvel and Star Wars shit that he's already agreed to do, I think they should just wait.
So I think a big problem is like they built fucking sets and shit.
Oh,
It's like
fuck.
they can't just like leave the sets like around.
Bro, Joaquin Phoenix is an evil person.
It's like it's all like
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, it's
built and
tough.
ready to go. It's like you can't just like leave that shit like hanging
Oh
around.
man, he
Apparently-
like dropped out last second. Like,
yeah,
right
like,
before
it's-
Principal
they were ready to
Photography
go
was
like
about to
go
start.
fucking in the days.
it was like
Oh,
it was like
man.
5 days. It was like
fifth
5
time he's
days
tried
away
to do
from the.
Yeah, it's like
That's so fucked up.
it's evil.
And it would have been
And
such a good movie.
Did you? There was another report, and it was like I don't know the list. It was a list of movies, and it was like these are other movies
Yeah,
where Joaquin
it's like
Phoenix was like
Napoleon,
it's like Joker and Napoleon.
Joker,
Like,
yeah,
these are also other movies where he
everything.
was like almost like about to fucking quit like 5 days before
Yeah,
production as
and it's
well.
like not even just like Joker and Napoleon. It was like some of the movies included were like some of his biggest role, like his most famous and most successful roles, like his great performances, and it's just like he was about to drop out. Like,
dude,
He's such a baby.
crazy. Yeah,
We really gave him an Oscar for playing the Joker over Adam Driver. It's probably career best performance.
Well, we
That's
also
so
just gave
nuts.
him an Oscar for playing the Joker over the 6 other performances that he should have won an Oscar for before that.
Yeah,
Well,
So
that's just how the game is played.
That's the real
Oscars,
problem.
baby.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
the
but like that's
Oscars.
the real problem is that if we just gave him an Oscar earlier, we wouldn't have had to give him one for fucking Joker. But,
Oh my God.
Joker's actually going to come up in the news in a couple headlines we're getting there.
A couple headlines. You're preloading the Joker news.
I'm just,
You're
Coming
like,
down the
hey,
queue.
stick around. Stick around. Don't
just-
go anywhere.
Yeah, just in case you were about to like leave, because I know we have a lot of Joker fans that follow us.
A lot of we call
Push
them
it back.
jonkers.
We need people to stay.
I'm
We
gonna
call them
also-
jonkers.
I'll jump in.
No, don't rush.
You're gonna hopscotch ahead.
No.
Todd,
Let him wait.
okay.
Let him-
Kevin's losing it. He's like his mic's cutting out so much because of how he's laughing. He's losing it, bro.
I think just
No,
how he
because-
laughs.
Because I'm
He's having
recovering
trouble
from being
breathing.
sick, so I like can't like breathe. Like
Yeah.
you're making me laugh so
That's
hard
not
that I
his
can't
mic. He
breathe.
just like can't breathe.
Breathe.
You good?
Breathe.
I'm gonna start
Bitch,
coughing
stop
really bad.
breathing.
Okay.
We're
Did you guys see
almost
that Playboy Cardi got pulled over? Atlanta?
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson and Dakota Johnson and Adria Arjona to star in Splitsville for Neon, described as a comedy about navigating an open marriage.
What? You
Wait,
had me at fucking Adria Arjona and Dakota Johnson.
Dakota
Yeah.
Johnson, Adria Arjona,
It's a comedy about
starring
navigating open marriage.
open
Yo,
marriage.
let's go.
comedy.
10
Is
out of
there,
10.
is there a director attached?
I
Don't
tried to
matter.
look it up. It's a guy who's like
So-
never made a movie before.
Okay.
I
I mean, that's cool. Adria Arjona,
Classic.
yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna be a movie star, but she's cool. I like her.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I mean, the movie star is crazy.
Yeah.
Let me say this: these are her most popular films on Letterboxd: Hitman,
Morbius.
Morbius, Six Underground,
She was
Triple
in Morbius.
Frontier, and Pacific Rim 2.
I watched that and I didn't
No,
even
but
know
she's
that.
really big right now.
Yeah.
She's big
Like,
on
She's
like
such
Instagram.
a scene stealer though.
Like, what do we mean? Like,
both of
she's
those-
big.
I mean, like-
she's big on like people like share the clip of her and Hitman where she's wearing a
Yeah.
bra. Like,
That like matters now though.
That's big. That's important.
Okay.
If you have
okay.
like 100 million followers on Instagram, that like means
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
I mean like
she's-
Sydney
she's
Sweeney
going-
is like the biggest actress in the world, and she's
well,
Yeah,
but yeah,
she's
that's
super
Sydney
famous
Sweeney's
on
also the
Instagram.
biggest person on Instagram.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
sure,
but
I'm
yeah,
saying,
not everyone has
like,
to be Sydney Sweeney.
That's true. That's true. Okay, you got my ass. Damn. Fuck.
It sounds
Is
like
she-
a silly movie. I'll watch it.
Oh, I'll be there.
I'll be
It
there.
depends. I need way more information. I
Yeah,
might
I
watch
need
it.
I need a trailer. You guys are gonna love this next piece of news. Travis Kelce to star in action comedy Loose Cannons for Lionsgate. Star in, by the way. I tried to do a little bit of research. I'm pretty sure he is like playing one of the two leads. Like it's not like Travis Kelce showing up in a movie. It's like he's playing because there was earlier news that I
Why
didn't.
him?
There's earlier news that I didn't include either last week or the week before that, which is that he's gonna be in the new it's like a TV show from the what the fuck's the guy's name? The really famous showrunner. He did American Horror Story and all that stuff. You guys know Ryan Murphy. Yes.
Oh
he's gonna
yeah,
be,
Ryan Murphy.
He's gonna be in Ryan Murphy's new
Yeah.
show, but it
Yeah,
seems like that's
And
like
so
just
was
like a-
Kim Kardashian.
That's-
exactly.
yeah, that's just
so
like a
it's
cameo
That's
thing.
why I didn't include it in the news.
But
'cause
is
I was
this
like, less of a
movie
big
that he's
deal.
in that he's gonna be the lead in? Is this a comedy?
Yes,
like an
action
action
comedy. Yeah,
Okay.
and I tried to read
There
a
are-
little bit about
So it's
it.
gonna be
There's
like
not
Die
much-
Hard.
Yeah, there's not much
the
information.
Man
but,
from
but I think he might be
Toronto.
playing a cop. I think it might be like a buddy
Oh,
cop movie, but
brother.
I'm not positive.
No,
Um,
there are so many athletes that I think could make great fucking funny like actors and like these like in terms of, like a Dennis
He's just
Rodman
not,
fucking
yeah.
like role like in the what's that movie called Double Team?
Double team. Yeah.
Oh,
There are so many actors.
yeah.
There are
Bro,
so
the
many
guy I
actors.
sent you today, Owen, would have.
Oh yeah, Xavier Leggett would have been awesome.
Xavier
I-
Leggett
I-
would be so funny.
I
in the
am
movie.
big on put Jameis Winston in a fucking action comedy movie,
immediately.
and that is the fucking funniest shit you ever get. There are so many like fun, charismatic actors, and the fact that Travis Kelce is being in these movies is
Yeah.
literally just like the Taylor Swift effect.
Dude,
And
we
it's
put
like,
we put Boban in a John Wick movie, and it was
And he's
yeah,
so
that
good
shit's
in it.
fun.
It was so
He's so
silly.
good
It was
in it.
awesome.
There are
Yeah.
there are a lot of like great actors that I think could have like movie roles.
Yeah.
Travis
Well, I hope
Kelce is
actors would have movie
so-
roles. I think you mean athletes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. What we didn't we made a joke about this last week, and it turned out to be true. But Rob Bob,
Right.
Yes.
playing the big alien in the
Yeah.
Alien movie,
Very
Um,
crazy.
which
Crazy.
Doug made a little joke about it, and
I
I'm
did
like,
make a little clip about it. Yeah, Jughead.
yeah, you kind of have a Sprouse to you.
Yeah, it's just like Travis Kelce is like, I guess he's like charismatic, but he's not just like
No,
He's a
he
very
doesn't have it.
successful
outwardly
podcast.
funny. Yeah, but he's
He
not like
doesn't have it.
even his brother would be funnier in a movie than him.
Yeah.
No, it's like I see it. Here's the thing. We all have a good idea. Maybe Aidan doesn't, but we all have a good idea of like Travis Kelce's like personality. What do you mean? What? Why are you confused?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's just the delivery was really funny. You're like,
No,
we all have
I-
a good, maybe Aiden doesn't.
But we all have like
damn.
a good idea of his personality, and because he's not an actor, we just know like, oh, it's just going to be Travis Kelce playing Travis Kelce in this movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like-
And that's
I'm
like
sure he could be funny.
that works when the guy is like awesome and like really like I don't know.
I don't know. It'll probably be fine. It's probably gonna be like similar to quality to the Kevin Hart's stuff.
Yeah, my problem is my problem is like I think it's just gonna probably end up being a bad movie, and it's not gonna.
Yeah,
have really
that's the issue. Is for me, it's like I think
Yeah.
if like with like a really strong vision and like taking one of these like really like charismatic athletes and like
I'm sure he could do something.
It could be like a really good movie. The problem is it feels like, oh, I'm gonna do this for like a business adventure. Like it's like, you know,
they should just replace him with Blake Griffin.
Easy fix.
Well, Blake Griffin's like a comedy, a comedian.
Yeah, I mean he's hilarious. That's what
Blake Griffin's awesome.
He's the best.
No, here's the thing: if Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift effect was really that strong, right? She should be able to get like Chad Stahelski to give Travis Kelce a role in the Highlander reboot that he's making.
Yeah.
No, but he's the lead, man. He's the lead.
Okay, he doesn't need to be the lead in the.
No, he's a superstar.
I know.
Yeah.
So he's coming from Travis.
You're talking about Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
What round fantasy football is he projected to go this year?
Probably like
tight end.
Yeah, probably like 3 or 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the number of people in your league, but definitely
he's a tight end.
Yeah.
But he's the tight end. But he's like
no, I mean at one point it was
he's getting old, man.
He's actually dropped to the number 2 overall tight end, Sammy Laporta, number 1 overall on the projection.
Big Detroit,
number 1 overall on the projection. Sammy Laporta. He's not dating Taylor Swift. Maybe she should reconsider.
Maybe she should reconsider.
She should start seeing some.
Sam Laporta is not winning a Super Bowl.
Sam Laporta handsome? I don't know what people look like under the helmet. There's like a lot of NFL players where I've just never seen.
He's like a mid-white guy, probably, right?
I only see them wearing a helmet.
Let me see. Let me do a little refresher.
Yeah, let's do a little.
Do a little Sam Laporta.
He looks like a football player.
He looks like a guy that.
Okay,
yeah,
no, he does. He looks kind of like Ben Roethlisberger. They de-aged him.
He looks like he's like
a de-aged Ben Roethlisberger.
He's like ham and cheeseburgers at the fucking reunion, dude.
He looks so much like Ben Roethlisberger.
He looks like a football player, bro.
He looks like a football player in like a high school like shitty 80s movie.
Yeah. It's like no.
He should be in a movie. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's chill on Sam Laporta now. Let's chill.
No, big fan. Go Iowa Hawkeyes.
Big fan. I might draft him tomorrow night. So, Todd Phillips says he thinks they've said all they wanted to in the world of Joker when responding to the idea of a third Joker movie.
Jesus
so apparently we will not be getting a third Joker movie.
You know
it seems
what?
like it ends here.
Oh, man.
He's gonna spin back. Here's the thing: if this movie makes $1 billion and Lady Gaga wins an Oscar for it, Joker 3, lock it in, buddy. It's happening.
Without Joaquin Phoenix.
Literally without Joaquin Phoenix.
Kelce plays Batman.
If the movie makes $1 billion and another lead gets an Oscar, they're making a third one. What do you mean?
Probably. Even without Todd Phillips.
They did it with the Hangover movies.
Yeah.
What do you mean they did it with the Hangover movies? That they just made a third one? Is that what you're saying?
They just made a third.
Shut the fuck up.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they did. Hey, they did it with the Amityville movies. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, Star Wars. There's plenty of those.
They did it with Star Wars.
Plenty of those. I mean,
did he not? Did he not do all the Hangover movie?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
That was the point.
Well, yeah, it's just
Yeah, I mean, jeez, dude.
The Acolyte's been canceled at Disney Plus.
Yeah, we have a friend that we've been trying to get on the podcast that is very distraught about this.
Yeah,
he's like posting petitions.
Yeah, he's like posting on Twitter. He's like #renew the Acolyte. There's rooms for all kinds of stories in the Star Wars universe, and
that's what I'm always saying.
Aidan, did you watch any episodes of the Acolyte?
No.
I think Aidan's like fully tapped out on Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, seen anything.
I haven't. None of us have watched any of it.
Movie. Well, okay. Did you? I don't watch any of the Acolyte, but did
you watch Andor?
I watched Andor. Did you watch Andor, Aidan?
No, I watched like one season of The Mandalorian, and that was it.
Well, okay, but
when did The Mandalorian come out?
2016.
Like 2019.
2016
is
no way.
It's not 2016.
No way.
It came out when I was in fucking
2018. Was that it? It was
Wait,
sophomore or whatever.
Wait, hold up.
Wait, it was
No,
on. It was on the
2016 is
first
way
first
too
shows,
early.
right? So it was like
The first episode date was November 12th, 2019.
I'm
Wait,
so
19.
wrong. I'm so. It's like they're saying that a man has never been more wrong than I have right now, guessing the premiere of The Mandalorian.
So 5 years ago. Wow.
That's so long. It's crazy how like that show is so fucking popular, and it's been so popular for so long, and Pedro Pascal is still just like that famous. You know?
And then The Force Awakens came out in 2015.
Yeah.
So we haven't had even a decade of this Disney Star Wars stuff, really.
It feels like it's been 30 years that we've been speaking it, bro.
It's fucking awful. It feels like it's never going to end, and we're really like fucking misery.
No. Andor season 2 though is coming out soon. But yeah, okay, let's talk about the Acolyte just a little bit for a second. The Acolyte,
how do we talk about it?
Well, the Acolyte well, that doesn't matter. The Acolyte got canceled.
Doesn't it have a guy from Squid Game in it?
Yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss is in it, right?
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss is in it.
There was a tweet this day that they were trying to get Keanu Reeves in it, and he was going to be in it.
It's so stupid.
But he had scheduling conflicts.
But
they were just gonna do Matrix.
The Andor
Kogonada directed it.
Yeah, Kogonada directed episodes of it. The thing about not Andor. The thing about what is the Acolyte? Jesus Christ. The thing about the Acolyte that is disheartening. Granted, none of us care because we don't watch these shows. But the thing about the Acolyte that is like really disheartening is because it got canceled, seemingly not even because of like it did poorly and people didn't watch it. It got canceled because of culture war stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was like
because they don't release their numbers though.
It's a Star Wars show. Enough people were watching it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it was like because like every episode was getting review bombed. People like YouTubers like the Critical Drinker and stuff were like making like 15-minute long videos for each episode being like the worst Star Wars thing ever. And it's just because it's like because the lead character
count on the Critical Drinker.
I think it's I don't know. Let me guess. 1.5 mil. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up while you do that.
I have no idea. But like because like the Acolyte is like
2.1.
Oh damn! I undersold it. Sorry, sorry to disrespect you, Mr. Drinker. But because like this is a Star Wars thing where it's like, the lead character is a black woman, and it's like they're doing something totally different. Where it's like, it like takes place like hundreds of years before the prequels, and there's like totally new characters, and they're introducing like a fan favorite, like Sith. What's his name?
Darth Plagueis.
Yes, Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Who's like an EU character that really like super nerds like really love, and he's like in the video games and stuff, and they're like, we always wanted him, and like they introduce him in the show, and then people are like,
they kind of like he's like in a cave, and they like.
I'm assuming it's like the last shot of the season.
Yeah, it's like they're teasing him for the second season.
Yeah,
that they're never gonna get.
Yeah,
because of
and people
Twitter.
Noticed on the website, the Disney website, that they took down all of the Acolyte like merch. Like you couldn't you used to be able to buy Acolyte t-shirts, and you can't even do that now. It's like really
crazy.
Extreme, like
it's
totally
like it's very weird.
Yeah, so it's just it's like what they did after Last Jedi. They just like caved to the most annoying people, and just like we're like, okay, fine, we'll only make boring shit now.
Yeah, which is like. It feels again. It's kind of feels similar to the other stuff that Disney's been doing recently, where it's like, "Hey, man, sorry for like putting people of color in our movies, or like we're gonna resort back to like doing like an incredible.
We'll bring
sequel.
back Luke.
Yeah,
instead.
like that's like it's like they keep caving in and keep doing these like really like super business moves to like cave into the worst people.
You can't do that.
And it's like over. It's just like.
It's
already was over, and it just continues to get like worse.
We're gonna get like an AI Luke TV show.
Yeah,
that's gonna
AI
happen.
Luke and AI Ian Holm, like they're gonna come together and they're gonna beat AI Darth Vader and they're gonna blow up the Death Star. And
it's gonna be AI Luke and AI Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, he's just like he's alive still, but like there's
they're gonna AI him regardless, even though he's alive.
He's actually gonna be
bro. Luke, I mean, Mark Hamill's alive too.
Yeah,
This is true. That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Was that your next news piece that Mark Hamill is still
No,
alive?
my next one's actually the last one. Jennifer Lopez has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck.
No.
Oh,
Okay, we're gonna wrap up there. Next week, episode 82, we're gonna be switching it up from new releases, and we're gonna be doing something a little different, a little fun. Our 25 best movies of the past 25 years. So once again, reminding everybody to follow Aidan and come back next week, and we'll see you later.
Bro fist.